Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a super fast tour of our home address in the universe, the solar system. It's this incredible place filled with fiery stars, rocky worlds, and just these massive gas giants. So let's just jump right in.
But before we meet all the residents, let's start with a big question, right? You've got all these massive objects flying through space. So what's the cosmic glue that keeps this entire system from just flying apart? We'll get to that answer in just a minute.
Okay, so to start, let's just get our cosmic bearings and take a quick look at the neighborhood we all call home.
And here it is, in all its glory. Our solar system is a pretty bustling place. It was born about 5 billion years ago, and it's our little corner of the gigantic Milky Way galaxy. It's made up of our star, the sun, 8 planets, hundreds of moons, and just countless other little things like asteroids and comets.
And that brings us right back to our big question. The answer? It's gravity. Specifically, it's the sun's immense gravitational pull that keeps all the planets and every other object locked into their orbits, all revolving around it in this kind of constant cosmic dance.
Yeah, that gravitational pull is absolutely the key. Everything revolves around the sun. So let's zoom in a little on the incredible star that basically runs our entire system.
To really understand the sun's dominance, you just need to know this one number, 99.9%. That's the percentage of all the matter, everything in the entire solar system that is contained inside the sun. It is, without a doubt, the boss.
And this is just a perfect way to think about it. The source material calls the sun the head of the solar family, and that really nails its central governing role.
So what is this thing? Well, the sun isn't some solid rock. It's a massive sphere of superheated gas, mostly hydrogen. The pressure at its core is so intense, it triggers nuclear fusion, literally smashing hydrogen atoms together to create helium. And that fusion process unleashes a tremendous amount of energy as light and heat, which radiates out and powers our entire system.
And just how tremendous is that energy? Well, the temperature at the center of the sun's core is about 15 million degrees Celsius. It's an engine of just unimaginable power.
Okay, so now that we've met the head of the solar family, it's time to meet the other members, the 8 planets.
But before we list them, what exactly is a planet? Well, the basic definition is a heavenly body that revolves around a star, like our sun, in a closed elliptical path. And remember, planets don't have any light of their own. They only shine because they reflect the light of their star. So, here's the official lineup, starting closest to the sun and moving out. We've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. But here's the thing, not all planets are created equal, not even close. They can actually be sorted into 2 very distinct groups.
So this is really interesting. It's like our solar system is divided in 2. The first 4, that's Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are the terrestrial planets. They're rocky, they're dense, mainly because they formed close to the sun, where it was way too hot for gases to clump together. But the last 4, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, they're the Jovian planets. They formed farther out, past a frost line, where it was cold enough for ice and gas to stick together. And that allowed them to become these massive gas giants, often with those cool ring systems and a ton of moons. And this chart just drives that last point home. Look at the difference. Earth has 1 moon. Mars has 2. But Jupiter, whoa. According to our source, it has a staggering 67. You can see the difference between the 2 types of worlds is just enormous.
So, this brings us to a famous, let's call it an astronomical debate. We've listed 8 planets, but a lot of us grew up learning there were 9. So what changed? Let's look at what actually makes a planet a planet.
Yep, this is the big one. For decades, Pluto was our 9th planet. So what happened? To understand, we have to look at the official rules.
So, back in 2006, the International Astronomical Union, the IAU, set 3 official rules. 1, it has to orbit the sun. Simple enough. 2, it needs to have enough mass for its own gravity to pull it into a nearly round shape. And 3, and this is the big one, it has to have cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. Basically, that means it's the biggest gravitational force in its own path.
And this is exactly where Pluto gets into trouble. It checks the first 2 boxes, no problem. It orbits the sun and it's round. But it fails on rule number 3. See, its orbit is inside the Kuiper belt, which is this huge ring of icy bodies out past Neptune, so it has definitely not cleared its neighborhood. Because of that, Pluto was reclassified. It got a new category, dwarf planet.
And that's now the official term for any object that meets those first two rules for being a planet, but not that crucial third one.
So, from the crushing gravity of the Sun to the scientific rules that define what a planet even is, we've seen how our solar system is a place of just immense scale and constant change. It's already 5 billion years old, which, leaves us with one last incredible thought. What comes next?